Hello everyone, I'm Akhilesh and I will be talking about the query strategies in active learning. How do you find the most informative sample or most informative samples? That is what this is all about. There are three main strategies that are used: the least confidence strategy, the margin sampling, and the entropy sampling. So now when we look at these three strategies, the least confidence strategy, for example, you look at the sample for which the most likely label has lowest probability. That is, let us look at an example. There's a sample S1 and a sample S2. For S1, and there are three classes A, B and C. S1 has probability 0.5 for A, 0.25 for B, 0.25 for C. So you can see most likely is A. Okay, so most likely sample is A with a probability 0.5. Similarly for S2, it is A has 0.1, B has 0.8 and C has 0.1 again. Most likely label is B and it has a probability 8. You can see that the most likely label, for that the probability is low for sample 1, S1. So over here you can see that if we actually label this, we can get a lot of information. That is, because it is uncertain, if we label this, we'll know whether it is actually A or is it B or is it C. So this is actually a very good case for labeling, but over here we know that it is mostly B itself. So we do not get much benefit of labeling this one since it is mostly B. So in this case, A has a better, it is better to label sample 1 than to label sample 2. So this is sample 1 and sample 2, so it's better to label this one rather than this one. So this is the least confidence one. So you're least confident about sample 1, so you're doing it directly. Now the next one is margin sampling. Now in this, it looks at the difference between the most likely label and the second most likely. That is, basically the model cannot decide which one to label. So let us look at an example again. So S1 has probabilities 0.5 for A, 0.45 for B, 0.05 for C. So over here, A is most likely, B is second most likely, and both are very close. So it is very hard to decide which one it actually is. You can understand, right? For this one, if you look at the previous one, least confidence, in S2 you can see that it's 0.3, 0.4, 0.3. So most likely one is A with 0.5, most likely is B with 0.4. So if you go with least confidence, you will label S2. But if you go with margin sampling, you see that the difference here is just 0.05. So difference is very low. That means it is very close and it's really hard for it to decide which one it actually is. But in case of this one, the difference between most likely and second most likely is 0.1, which is more than that. So it has some more confidence. It can still discern, okay, it is more of B than of A. But over here, it's since it's very close, it's it cannot decide very well which one is it. So it keeps struggling to decide. In this, it's not struggling that much. But overall it has less confidence, but still it's not struggling that much. So in this case, it will label sample S1. But if you use least confidence, the previous method, we will be using this one. So the main advantage of this is it looks at probabilities of not just the most likely label, but the others as well. Now the entropy sampling. Least confidence, the one we saw first, takes account only the first one. Margin sampling takes account only the top two. Entropy sampling basically uses all possible labels, and it is done using a metric called entropy. And this entropy metric, basically using this metric, this will actually look at all the probabilities of all the labels, and the entropy will be taken here. And that's the main thing here. Instead of just looking at one, or instead of just looking at two, it looks at all of them. In different cases, different ones are useful, and this is used quite often. I have written an article on active learning on Towards Data Science, which is a part of medium.com. You can check this out and implement it for better understanding. It is an active learning tutorial in Python, and it has explanations for each of the parts of the code. For further reading, you can check out this article on datacamp.com and this article on Wikipedia. Both these have good amount of details on active learning. I've added all these links in the description, and I've also added my other references in the description. You can check all these out for further reading. Thank you, and if you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications. Thank you.